Welcome to the second episode of The Stars Are Us. Wow, where we talk about astrology, manifestation, miracles, and consciousness. So, today's topic is about transcending the obstacles that we are being put in our daily lives. We are here on Earth on a mission. Of course, we all have our individual, let's say, mission, but it's always a collective mission because we work from the micro to the macro. So it's never separate. So we come here as a soul in a body. We incarnate in this physical body, and we come here to somehow transcend some blockages, some limitations that our soul came with, that we can say that come from past lives. Now, if you don't want to look at this perspective, you can also look through the perspective of your own physical self in this life, meaning that since you were growing up and since you remember yourself, probably in your childhood and along your life, you faced some obstacles, you faced some challenges, and it's normal. We are here to transcend that. So with this said, today we are going to talk about this because this is very present in this week in the collective, as Saturn is conjunct to the Sun, also where Neptune is. So this means that restrictions might come, and they many times are imposed by the outside, or they look imposed by the outside. So let's say that there is a collective consciousness, and then there is the individual consciousness, and the collective consciousness is nothing more, nothing less than the sum of all the individual consciousnesses together. So it mirrors this collective consciousness. So we know, and those that are probably listening to this podcast know, that we've been on a very important moment as humanity. We are going through a transition. So these moments now are key moments of our transition, of this collective transition. What does this mean? It means that somehow the collective consciousness is raising the frequency. So as a collective, we are raising our frequency because more and more people are awakening. But of course, we still see a lot of shadow, okay? In the end, and especially in this moment that we are living, we can still see how much everything is energetics. We can go there explaining through astrology by saying that Mars is in Pisces and Mercury is in Pisces, and these Pisces represents the energetics. It's also the subconscious, it's also imagination, but it's also the energetics. So many of the things we are seeing are a reflection of energetics, and we can even go deeper and say that the wars are energetic in a way. So it's like energetic wars happening. So in a way, remembering that we are a soul, and this soul incarnate in this body, and somehow this soul came with this mission, it will be like almost too easy if we had no challenges, right? Imagine how boring life would be if you say like, okay, I want this, and then suddenly that is right there offered to you. You will love it, of course, but imagine like after, for instance, a year, or after even maybe a month of everything being offered to you, you will be bored because there is nothing to transcend. So somehow, us as humans, we like the challenge and we need the challenge. And many times we are the ones creating this challenge, okay? Because when something is too easy, when things are too easy, you don't have any interest on them because it's like, oh, it's boring. So we can see this through relationships. We can see this through jobs. How, if you observe in your life, probably many times you kind of felt, this is too boring, so let me create a challenge for myself. Or let's say you are in a work and you've been working there for 3 years and like you are bored. You need something that challenges you, something that gives you a reason to wake up every morning, and not to fight for in a resistant way, but to exceed. So this is planted in our consciousness, and this is somehow what we came here for, because we came here to evolve, okay? So these challenges, they are part of our lives, and they are a beautiful part of our lives. Now, what happens is that on a more, let's say, physical way of thinking, on a more human way of thinking, we tend to see the challenges as limitations. We tend to see the challenges as impositions and blockages to our own freedom. And it's like, oh, I wanted to do that, but now I face this challenge, so now this means that I should not do it, I have to give up, this is not for me, or or this relationship is not working, or this job is too good for me. Whatever the story you tell yourself is related to the programming you have within yourself. So the first thing here to grasp is that the challenges are not there to stop you. They are there for you to transcend them, okay? And by this, I don't mean like if something feels way too dangerous, or you are being under assault or under attack or whatever, like that means that maybe that's not the way, but that's not what I'm saying here. I'm saying, for instance, the challenges as ways of self-sabotage. Let me give you an example. So I always give this example of this lady that was having yoga classes with me. So I was offering online yoga classes, and it was like option of 1 day a week, 3 days a week, or 5 days a week. And this lady, she said, yes, I want to do 5 days a week. And I was like, wow, amazing. I'm so happy to have you there and to be your instructor for this moment and to help you create a routine. First yoga class, she was like, I have this challenge with the pranayama and I cannot breathe very well. Okay, I told her, no worries, like pranayama really helps to clear your nostril passages and helps when you have the sept is like in a deviation, it helps with that. And I've been practicing for a long time and it really changed my breath. And she was like, okay. Next day that we had a class, she messaged me before the class and she says, I cannot attend the class today. I have a belly pain. And I was like, okay, take some rest. It's okay, no problem. Next day, she's like, today I can't attend because I am traveling. So basically, like every day she found excuses. And it's not that she was doing that on purpose. It is that her protective systems, her self-sabotage systems were too strong. And when they are too strong, you are not even aware, but you are already sabotaging it in a physical way. Because let's say that the last level of manifestation is the physical. So that works for when you want to manifest your dream into reality. You have to be very grounded in that dream, in that feeling, so that it manifests physically. But also when we talk about illnesses, about problems, about health problems, for instance, because everything starts in the energetic and then it crystallizes so much until it gets to the physical. And that's the last level of crystallization, and that's the physical manifestation. So this happens as well with our self-sabotage systems. So this lady had such strong self-sabotage systems that it was already giving her physical pain every time she was going to do something good for herself. Now, this is not an isolated case. I know many cases where this happens. My mother is another example of this. When she has an ascendant in Virgo, means that She is here to work with her physical body to become more organized and to take care of her own health through her physical vessel. And every time she sits to do some physical exercise or to meditate or whatever, there is always something external trying to distract her. Either someone calls her or something happens and she gets distracted. So probably you listening to this will relate because we all went through this at some point. For me, I live this a lot in my relationships. So I say, I want a relationship so much, relationships, putting it on a pedestal. But every time I met someone, my self-sabotaging systems were so big that I believed I was not deserving on a very subconscious level. So something happened with the person that the person kind of say, no, you know what? I'm not ready to step into this relationship, or my ex is back, or whatever it was. And this was because in my subconscious, my programs, there was something saying that, okay, whenever we step into a relationship, we leave because it's not safe and we are going to be abandoned. So it's true that our self-sabotaging systems can be very strong and they can really sabotage whatever we are trying to create. And these are the blockages that we will face. Now, it is normal in a way, and as I was saying, it is somehow part of the experience here to face some blockages. But it's not for these blockages to be like walls that you cannot cross. No. And if it's like a wall, then you will go and find another door, or you can even break the wall. So the thing here, and what will distinguish which ones are the walls to break and which ones are really walls to come back and to find another door, or to go through another division of the house or to find another house even, is your heart. So your heart is your guide. And when I mean your heart, is not like what I want on a surface level, on an intellectual level, like, oh, I want this job because this job gives me stability. But inside, I am deeply miserable because I don't love to be working on this field. I would love to be a painter, and so many people told me that I am such an amazing painter, but I am living in this job 9 to 5, and I feel super tense every day and exhausted, but I am keeping it because this is how I make money. Okay, there is a limiting belief here. And you already got all the confirmations that this painting is your path of expression, is your path through this life. So I'm not saying like fully let go of the job right there, because that's well, of course, will break your roots in a way. So you'll feel ungrounded if you don't have any safety net. But I'm also not saying keep on that job forever and forget the paintings, because the paintings are meant to be your path. So the important thing here is to find a way to combine it. So let's say that the job is the obstacle in a way and the paintings are the path to go through. But you must find a way to go through that obstacle, to cross that obstacle, to climb the mountain, and then you'll see the thing on the other side. So it's not that this job is like there to limit you and for you to quit your dream, but it's there to support you in making this dream happen. So, of course, this can manifest in different ways, but let's say that for taking still this example, like you decide, okay, I already have like money that I saved, so I have kind of a safety net, and now I'm going to focus on my paintings. Now it's the moment I'm going to dedicate myself to my paintings. What will be a test? A test will be suddenly you say that to your boss, for instance, hey, so I'm going to quit this job. I'm going to follow my dream. Your boss will say to you, oh, you really now? You know, I was in this moment exactly. I wanted to promote you to be a manager. And then suddenly you are like, oh no, but so, okay. So now I was going to follow my dream and to follow this path. And now I'm going to be a manager, and he's going to raise my money much more. So I'm going to receive twice more. Okay, maybe this is a sign that I'm not meant to follow the path of the paintings, and I should keep this job. So this is one of these tests. Okay, so the tests can be manifested through different ways. So it's not just like, for instance, another example of the test will be you quit, you say, okay, I'm going to quit. And then right on the moment that you are going to quit, you receive like a bill that you didn't know you had, and now you have to pay, and it's a lot of money. And now oh no, but now I was going to give up and to dedicate to my paintings, and now I have this thing, and then I'm not going to make it, so I'm going to stay in this job even though I'm miserable. So the thing here is there is a limiting belief, and somehow you are not believing that you can really live from your dream, which is to be a painter. Now, the thing is, you don't know if you devote yourself to being a painter and you really have that deep calling within you, like you had all the confirmations within, it's something that really vibrates, but it's just a fear that it's in the way. You don't know if on the next day you are not going to meet someone that owns an art gallery and that wants to promote your paintings because it sees that you are an amazing painter. You don't know what's going to happen around the corner when you go through your dream, when you pursue your dream. You don't know. And by staying in a place that it makes you feel miserable, you are limiting yourself. So the tests, the resistances, the blockages may come. They are created also by our own minds, we can say the mind, but also through the memories of our soul that are crystallized in our mind. And so these are generated from the outside. And it's just to test us, because in the end, we are here to be free from these blockages. We are here to transcend these blockages. And we have that in our astrology chart as well, through our Uranus. So Uranus is the freedom, represents freedom and setting ourselves free. So finding where Uranus is in your chart is your guide to your freedom. But you must let go of something. You cannot have it all at the same time. So once you want to go for a new house, you must let go of the old one, because then it's not possible. So nobody's saying like just be reckless and leave everything behind and just throw yourself out there. Yeah, balanced, So having, for instance, the safety net, but following the path. If you know that this is your path, and if it vibrates fully in your heart, in your body, it's a full body yes. It's not just like a cloud, a pink cloud that came and it's like, oh, wow, this will be so amazing. No, this is a full body yes. I really feel this. It really resonates with me. It really makes so much sense with me. I wish I could do that. That's for you. That's how you know. And then confirmations here, confirmations there. But okay, I'm going to go through that path. And then suddenly you start walking the path and a stone appears. And like, oh no, okay, a stone appears, I have to go back. No, that's the test. You don't have to go back. So that's the moment where you see, oh, a stone is here, amazing. Either I'm going to climb it, or I'm going to bring it to my castle, or I'm going to thank this stone because I know that I have to jump over it. So this is the big message. And this is also the message that I have for you today.